God, you guys, your stress levels. Wait till you have kids. Wait till you have kids.
We're
Calm down.
live right now, Glenn. Just keep going, man. I love it.
Stressed? Who's stressed? Who's stressed? I'm not stressed.
You could have given me a warning.
They don't give me a warning. It just we're live. Off you go. Yeah. So anyway, no intro, no video. We're low budget over here right now. We forgot to pay the power bill. Keep everything turned on apparently. So anyway, welcome to the this might be the first episode that we've done of the All American Arsenal show. Little rebranding of things here. But anyway, been a little while since we've chatted. Ryan and I talk, well, not every day, but often enough. Glenn, you fell off a.
Yeah,
I gotta isolate Glenn right away.
Hit your head and forgot who you were for 3 days. I don't know. Your wife turned the microwave on and passed out or something.
No. I got it. I got it one of those points where I just need a little bit of break, and it turned into a 4-month break. And then when we beat Spuds, I couldn't hold back anymore. I had to come back, and I realized how much I missed it. It's just really great to be in my little YouTube space right now because my wife works from home and she took it over, and it took me literally 2 hours to clean this place up and the stink of woman in here. And look, she left her pocketbook still in here.
I mean, look, hey, maybe
Glenn, it's okay.
Wait,
You
Glenn,
can have a purse. 2023, Glenn. You have a purse. No big deal.
It's my wife's.
Okay. Yeah, sure, Glenn.
Yeah.
This is my wife's.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It is.
You can almost hear the nagging. Go get my unmentionables at the supermarket. So yeah, don't worry about it. I'm good to go. I'm very happy. Hello, guys. I'm back.
Without warning, by the way, he's back without warning. Anyway, Ryan, what's going on?
So I want to actually clear some things up. Glenn, you can throw me in the bus. So the real reason why Glenn hasn't been around is because of me. We went on a winning streak, and I said, Glenn, I swear to God, if you touch Twitter, I'm coming to find you on Long Island, which I ended up finding him because I had to make a promise. I'm going to find you, and he's been inactive because we keep winning, and the more we keep winning, the more we put Glenn in his little cage. I like to call it a cage, but
Yeah, well, when I came out of my cage, we had that Manchester United game. You can see the video on my YouTube channel, by the way. So don't blame me for any jinxes. And I'm going to stay positive if you guys are negative, like half my timeline here on Twitter and YouTube. I'm getting sick of the negativity because of one loss. But BG, I'm sure we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll get there. I love the video, by the way. The video was tremendous. Ryan gave me a little. He's like, "Hey, heads up, there might be a video coming out." He's like, "Just so you know." And I'm like, "Did you make a sex tape with a midget? Is it what is going on here?" Like,
I invited Bridget to watch Arsenal.
You at the bar for Ryan's sex tape? Anyway, yeah. So we got the niceties out of the way with, I guess, and we'll just welcome back Bulgarian Gooner. Raid Kostadinoski, that's a fun name to say. Daniel Shaw is in there as well. If you're in the chat, drop us a line, say hello to us. If you are watching on the replay, we appreciate you as well. Please be sure to subscribe if you're not already to the channel. Drop us a like, drop us a dislike, a thumbs up, thumbs down, doesn't matter. Just interact with us, please. That's why we do this. We enjoy the interaction. We crave the interaction. We need the interaction. I'm going to go quickly because I'm going to go quickly because I don't know what I'm talking about with this, but I feel like just an opinion on it real quick because it happened today. And I would imagine neither of the two of you know much more than I do, but if you do, drop some knowledge here for me. But the Manchester City thing is this going to be anything more than, okay, UEFA is going to come in, the FA is going to come in, the Premier League is going to come in, they're going to say, open your books. And when City open the books, there are going to be blank checks there. And whoever opened the books is going to say, all right, boys, how much are we making these out for? And just go away. Is there going to be anything more to this? Glenn, do you know any more than what is out there right now?
No. All I can say is 2 hours ago, I knew I was doing my first show in 4 months, and I'm like, I better check the news in case anything's happened in the last couple of days, because I tune out after Arsenal loses points, drops points, and the way they did. I really don't want to deal with football for a while. So I checked, and I'm like, oh Jesus! First thing I saw is that Goldbridge guy with a hysterical rant about how Manchester City is done. I'm like, okay, I'm not listening to this, because he started off right away flailing his arms that City is done. The thing has like 250,000 views in less than an hour. It's not that way. I spent the next hour reading and watching stupid ass videos because of this Manchester City thing. It has to do with their sponsorships, and it's all owned by the same guy. Nothing's going to happen this season. If they're going to be deducted points, they're going to be deducted points. But I thought Manchester City was finished a couple of years ago. They can hire the best lawyers in the world because they're owned by an oil country. So to me, it's out of, it's not a big deal this season. I don't want their points deducted. I want to finish in first place ahead of them without any of that shit this season.
That would be a great segue if I didn't just real quick want to get Ryan's take on this. But Ryan, go ahead, and I'm going to circle back to what Glenn just said about without them losing being deducted points. Ryan, go ahead.
I don't know much. The only thing I do know is it was a 4-year investigation, and they found a lot of they breached the rules a lot. I don't want to go over and read everything that they breached, but we'd be here for a little bit. The one thing I did read about today before going on was the possible punishments that they could get, which to me are just like, I'll just read them. They don't make so suspend a club from playing league matches. Okay. Point deductions. Yeah, we figured that. Recommend to the board that league matches are replayed. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Recommend to the board that the league expels the responding club. Expel them. Oh, really? Okay. Well, I guess there's only one. There should only be one Manchester team. That's fine. Order compensation. I mean, that probably should happen and goes without saying. Cancel or refuse registration of players. That would be interesting. I think they might. That might happen. Conditional punishment. Order the club to pay costs, which is the same as almost compensation. Make such other order as it thinks fit. So literally, they could get any punishment. So I don't know. The one thing I do know, and what I did read, and I'm in complete agreement with Glenn, I do not want them to lose a single point this season. Deduct them next season after we'd won the Premier League this season, because I don't want to win, even if they get deducted a point. If they get deducted a point and we win by 10 points, we're going to hear about it. We're going to hear, well, City got deducted, so that's why you won, and like the whole investigation. And I don't want to hear it. I don't want any excuses. I want us to win fair and square. And yeah.
Something I just thought of, and a simple yes, no, you can elaborate if you want. Is there anything to this coming out now? I mean, it's the kind of thing that I feel like shouldn't this come out in the summer? Like okay, you completed your investigation, and now I guess sit on it till the summer. I mean, because Ryan's right. Let's face it. If anything happens to them before this season is over, that's all we're going to hear about. or and this just popped into my head. I'm just spitballing here. Is whomever, be it the FA, be it Premier League, UEFA, are they preparing the excuses for Manchester City already when we do win the league? Is somehow someone high above in the high castle behind the curtain, the man behind the curtain, or is the fix in maybe for Arsenal to win the league? But I'm going way down. I'm like Alice going down the rabbit hole, Glenn.
I love going down rabbit holes. I do it every day. But while it is possible, BG, what you said, because most corporations are scum. All right, but what happened is it started on a website that paper in Germany published the whole thing. Der Spiegel, I think they're called, and that's where everybody's like, "Holy shit, look at this!" So I don't think there was any skullduggery in this. Yeah. I think it was just because Der Spiegel. I'm probably saying that wrong, and I'm German.
Der Spiegel.
Der Spiegel, yeah. and and that's where it all started from. In my opinion, who the hell knows? You could be right.
Well, I hope I'm not. But anyway, I know, Ryan, this isn't your thing. So let's go back to the deduction of points, which we don't want, and kind of segue that. We'll work our way backward a little bit since we've been gone for a little while, but we'll start with the most recent and we'll kind of work our way back chronologically. Where were your loyalties yesterday, Ryan? Let me first, did you care? And if you cared, where were your loyalties? There is, by the way, we're putting it on record because, we like full disclosure. We like transparency here at the All-American Arsenal Show. But there is no wrong answer here. I am not going to argue with you one way or the other. This was the hot topic on Twitter yesterday. Where were your, if you had a loyalty in either direction, where did it lie?
Oh, for the game that was played yesterday?
I think your loyalties are to your wife, but this midget is all of a sudden in the picture now. I don't know.
Midget's great. I was rooting for Leeds. I like Jesse Marsh, and I think he's going to do good. Oh, not that game. Not that game. All right. It's funny. So I woke up at 7:30 in the morning to watch the game, and as the game was winding down, my wife was getting ready to go to work, and obviously we were down 1-0 in the game. I think she left right after the game ended. She was like, "Oh, well, who's Man City play tomorrow?" And I go, "Oh, they're playing Tottenham." "Oh, well, who are you rooting for?" And I literally was just, I don't give a fuck. I was angry, and needless to say, my wife just said, "Okay, bye." She didn't want to hear anything from me. She left for work. But I didn't care, and I get it. I'm not on the Arsenal team. I'm not a player. I'm not in the locker room. I'm not buddies with Odegaard. I'm not going to the mall with Vieira. I'm not getting my nails done with Ramsdale. But I feel the same way. Is I don't care about other teams. I care about us. That's it. I want us to win, and that's it. If we lose, okay. Is it good that Man City lost for us? Sure. But at the end of the day, I'm only focused on Arsenal. Because even if Man City had won, okay, still top of the group, still have a game in hand. So I wasn't really too concerned. When I saw Man City lost, I was like, okay, that kind of just erased our loss. So it made me feel a little better. But I wasn't actively rooting for either team in that game. I wasn't supporting either team, nor will I. I'm 100% Arsenal. That's that. Granted, let's all right. Sorry. Yes, Claudia. So let's get this straight too. If we need Man City to lose for us to win the title and it's the last game of the season, you bet your ass I'm rooting whoever's playing Man City. But at that point, Arsenal won't have a chance to really do anything. It's out of their hands. But yeah, it's Arsenal all the way.
So the answer is you didn't care.
No, I didn't even watch the game.
I didn't watch the game either, but it was the hot button topic yesterday, so I was curious. But Glenn?
Okay, well, my answer is a lot shorter than Ryan's, but
do me a favor and elongate everything for me because I gotta disappear real quick.
That's all that matters, baby. Arse.
Yeah, I know where you got that from.
That's all that matters, Glenn.
The Lord of the Rings trilogy is shorter than your answers, Ryan. I started out rooting for I feel guilty saying this, but I can't stand Spurs. I wanted Manchester City to win. When Spurs went, I watched the game, by the way. When Spurs went ahead 1-0, I said to myself, I should have been rooting for a tie anyway, a draw. And I was disappointed, but then I was like, wait, no, I'm not disappointed. I can't root for that team. I cannot.
Talking about Tottenham? Yeah.
I
can't root for them. I cannot.
I can't root for either of them.
To Ryan's point, the last thing he said, if I don't have a problem. If I needed to support City, I have no problem supporting City. I don't really care. They're not a traditional rival of ours. At the end of the day, I agree 100% with Ryan. The only thing that matters is Arsenal. And we're in the catbird seat right now because we don't have to scoreboard watch. We handle our business. Nothing else. Like Metallica famously sang, nothing else.
If Spurs were anywhere near us, I would have rooted for City regardless.
And this is funny. This is like the first time in a long time where I feel like we're always having conversations where like, all right, well, if City drop points, we could capitalize and we could close the ground. If Tottenham lose, we could cap. And now it's like, wait a minute, we're on the other side of the fence here. Everybody else is trying to capitalize on us, and it's like such an awesome feeling. And it's just like at that point where you're like, all right, well, fuck all the other teams if they're looking for us to slip up. Whereas normally, you know, given the past 10 seasons, we're looking for other teams to fuck up, and then we take things over. Then it's like the Bulgarian Gooner said. I'm enjoying the ride. I'm not rooting for anybody.
100%.
Loyalties are Arsenal, and that's it. And Tanner, go for it.
There's oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Glenn. Go ahead.
There's an entire generation that's never seen a title race for Arsenal. This is very exciting on so many different levels.
We were close on Leicester. What was that like?
You mean the year the season Giroud couldn't score a damn goal in the last 2 months? Are you talking about that season? And that's why.
I think it's
2015.
Anyway,
this season? No, this season after. I think the season after.
All right. Well, okay. So I stand corrected on that point. But yeah, you know, I'm really glad to hear you guys talking positively, because half of my timeline is people like clutching their pearls about this.
But Glenn, it's like Ryan just said. You know, when he's talking to his wife before she left for work on Saturday, he's pissed. And if he would have gone on Twitter right then and there, it's going to be negative. He's going to be pissed. It's going to come out. You're going to be able to tell that, okay, yeah, I was angry too. I wasn't angry, and I'm pretty sure I tweeted this. I wasn't angry at the loss. I can live with the result. I'm angry at the way that we played. Mm-hmm. Because
go ahead.
I'm gonna say this. How the fuck are they so bad?
Who?
How are they that bad? Is it really?
Who are you talking about?
Everton.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm looking at their lineup and I'm like, this team, they're not top six. They're not a relegation. They should not be a relegation threatened team. My goodness, they look on paper. They look like they should be not a lot better than what they are. I mean, there's not a massive gap really from them to 10th place. And I don't have the numbers right in front of me right now, so I'm not sure. But I was mad at the way that we played, and I'm sure that we'll get into this as the longer I go on here. But I was angry at first, but at the end of the day, back to what Ryan said. We do our job. It doesn't. Nothing else matters. It doesn't. That's all it is. That's all it is. And by the way, just to answer my own question from before, I was rooting for the draw. At the end of the day, I was rooting for the draw. I'm not upset. I'm not overly upset. I'm a little upset that they won. I'm not gonna lie to you because I hate them. Like the only sports team in the world. I've said it once, I've said it a million times. The only sports team in the world that I hate more than I hate those shitbags is Penn State football.
Yeah. Can I just add something real quick? Because Ryan was just talking about when his wife went to work at the end of the game and he was in a bad mood.
Don't die, Glenn. Don't die.
I'm sorry. Damn it. I hate when I do that. My wife knows to avoid me when Arsenal lose a game. But this game against Everton was different. She came down as soon as the game was over to see what kind of mood I was in. She's like, "Are you okay?" Just like that, she said it to me.
My wife did the same thing. Same thing.
And I said, "You know what? I am. We're in first place. We are playing the best football I've seen in the last 10 years. And Everton, the place that we were at, was a cauldron of emotion, and they deserved that win. They deserved it. I'm sorry." And Arteta said that in his press conference, too. It's the very first thing he said. Let's give Everton credit. Yes, we missed chances, and we should have hit them, but they were on it. And, I feel bad because the Everton fans, I've always, like liked Everton fans. They're so nice. And they were all so angry when I tuned into the game. Saw the crowd outside, saw the crowd inside. We have the youngest team in the league. We can't expect perfection from our club. We can't. All right. They went into that cauldron. They missed some chances. We could have won the game. But Everton, this really pisses me off. Everton deserved the 3 points.
They deserve the 3 points based on the way they played, just to clarify. Not because they had a new manager, not because they were
yes. I'm sorry. I didn't add that. I didn't add the most important part.
But they did. At the end of the day, they were the better side on Saturday. They deserved the 3 points based on the way that they played. Ryan, you got anything to add on there?
How long do we have? It was a recipe of things. We didn't play well. I'm not saying we played well. I don't think we played that bad. I know it's somebody. I think it was it Bulgarian Gooner that said it was the worst we played since Leeds away. I don't agree. I think we've played worse games. I think Everton were that good. I kind of disagree with you a little bit, Tanner. I think Everton are a Europa League team. I think they could play in the Europa League right now.
Really think that
I do. Well, look at the teams that are playing Europa right now. I think they can make it to the Europe. They can get out of their group in the Europa League, and then they'll play like a Champions League knockdown team, and then they'll get knocked out. I think and again, this is all on paper. Like you said, you think the team's better on paper. I think on paper they're a good team. And I do. I think they're a very good team, and I think not enough credit was given to them. I think, you know, the recipe of appointing Sean Dice, who's always been a thorn on our side, just the way he plays tactically, the way he plays football, it's always been, you know, a thorn on our side. I think Everton fans protesting, that was a big deal for us. I think, you know, that kind of rallied the fans up, and they were loud. They were raucous. They were a problem. And I said this during the game. I said it to my wife, and I didn't want to take this to Twitter, and I actually kind of don't want to say it now, but I'm going to. I was like, I don't really hear our fans. Like, what's going on? I'm like, we're not. Every away game, I hear our fans. I do not hear the home crowd. I'm like, I don't hear us. Like, what's happening? I'm like, is our away support not up for it? Like, what's going on? And as the game slowly rolled on, I realized, no, the Everton fans are fucking nuts.
They're that loud.
They're crazy. They're into it. They're behind the team. Every minute that we didn't score, they got louder and louder and louder. Yep. And that was a problem. And that fired up the players. You know,
it galvanized everyone in that stadium.
Yeah.
It was
you saw Onana. Onana was constantly gesturing to the crowd throughout the game. You know, so
we're kind of lucky they didn't get a second or third goal too. They had some damn good chances.
And that's another thing my wife said, Glenn. Oh, well, at least it wasn't 2-0 or 3-0. I don't give a fuck. I don't give. Yeah, but you just said, luckily they didn't score again. Who gives a fuck? We lost.
I'm addressing the people.
You don't get a bigger piece of the cookie because you lost 1-0 as opposed to 2-0.
I'm addressing the people that think, oh, we should have won that game. You know, that's what I'm addressing.
I just think you had Everton's staff up for it. You had the Everton crowd up for it, and you had the Everton players up for it. And Everton, like Tanner said, and I completely agree, Everton are a good team. The Europa League may be kind of stretching a little bit, but they should not be in a relegation battle. And I have two good friends, Scott and Addison, shout out, huge Everton fans. Addison was a big part, because now he's Connecticut now. He was a big part of the New Orleans Toffees. I think his wife designed the flag for the New Orleans Everton fans. So yeah, shout out to them. But they deserve this win. They played well. They had a lot of good spurts of play that we couldn't deal with. And usually, I don't know if you guys look at it, but every game I look at the it's like a graph, and it shows like Everton on one side, or the team on one side and Arsenal on the other side. And then it'll be like a seismic graph, like showing like how the opportunities and when the goals are scored. Arsenal's are always like really far over, and the other team will have like 1 or 2. Everton had like 4 or 5, and you're just like, oh shit, like they were really up for it. And I knew they were up for it watching the game. Then when you see like stats and then you see that, you're like, wow, they really played well. And you know, listen, we made quite a bit of money on Iwobi. One of their better players, great player. I think Dwight McNeil, who hasn't played well in an Everton shirt, had his best game, and as an Evertonian, and I think he played well. Onana was just a menace, and they had good tactics. They wanted to clog the middle of the pitch, so they pushed us to the wings, and then they doubled Saka, they doubled Martinelli, and that was it. It took us completely out of the game, and we could not deal with it. And they were on top of that, they were just flat out physical. So I saw at least 5 different stills of what's his name, Milianenko, pulling on Saka's shirt.
Mikolenko.
Yeah. There's 5 different stills of different instances of Milianenko pulling on Saka's shirt. So they were all over him. And Martinelli was kind of doing what he's doing. And people were upset with Martinelli, saying he needs to ship up or ship out. And like Trossard needs to start the next game. I want to see Trossard start the next game, but I don't think it's at the cost of Martinelli playing so bad. I don't think Martinelli's playing as bad as people think. I think the issue is Martinelli, and if you look at the average positioning, which comes out every game, which I that's one of my favorite things to look at graphics wise. Martinelli was on an island, and usually you have Xhaka and Zinchenko linking up, forming triangles. Martinelli playing the touch line, dribbling, whatever. Xhaka was pushed in the middle of the field because he was trying to deal with the intensity and, I guess, bullish ways of the Everton midfield. So trying to kind of push toward the middle, left Martinelli a little bit isolated, and Zinchenko played a little bit farther back, a little bit of a, I don't want to say he played a lot of defense, but he was trying to link the ball up to Partey, who was kind of getting ambushed in the middle of the pitch, as well as trying to link it up with Saliba and even Xhaka. And I listen, I'm going to bring this up once, and I hope I'm wrong from here on out. I am such a big Xhaka fan this season. I think he's been our best player. He's been a very important player. I think he has been our worst player. And I think people have been scapegoating Martinelli.
Wait, you think who has been the worst player?
Xhaka. Only because I think Xhaka, because teams have slowly kind of figured us out, and they're kind of game planning around us. And I think Xhaka sees that, and Xhaka's trying to do a lot more on the field. And it's making Martinelli suffer because, like I said, you want the Zinchenko-Xhaka triangle, or even you could throw Saliba in there, throw Odegaard in there even Eddie. But Xhaka's he's trying to play too much of – he's almost trying to play as almost like when we had the double pivot of Xhaka and Partey. It had games where it worked, but, it left the wings isolated. But we adopted a new strategy where Partey was kind of playing center, Xhaka's to the left, sometimes playing left back. Odegaard was more to the right, not really a natural 10. But now you see Odegaard kind of pushing further up, sort of to the right. You see Xhaka kind of moving kind of in the middle, trying to help Partey out when we're losing games, when we're losing the physicality in the middle of the pitch. But to me, it's like I don't see us out-physicling more. Out-muscling. There we go. I don't see us out-muscling any team in the Premier League. I don't. So why try that? And I get it. Xhaka is one of those guys that just needs to sometimes prove a point, and I get that. And that's part of the reason why I like him. It's because he is that guy for us. But he's kind of leaving Martinelli dry a little bit, and I think that's a big reason why he's suffering. But I still want Trossard to play because I think he just offers a different dynamic to us, and I think he's more direct, in which I think in games like this where we're being out-muscled, being more direct is better than a Martinelli who's just going to dribble around the field and hope and pray for an opening.
Can I just say a couple of things? First of all, I do like Trossard too. Someone said it, and I think it's kind of true. He's kind of like Arshavin, who used to be one of my favorite Arsenal players.
I love Arshavin.
As far as Martinelli goes, I disagree with Ryan. I think he took Martinelli out too early. In his press conference, Arteta was asked how he felt after he made his substitutions with 15 minutes ago, and he was, I thought, very candid and said we were reckless. We gave the ball away. I was very disappointed.
We were sloppy because they just out-muscled us in the middle of the field. So we had to play the wings. And when you play the wings, Martinelli was double-teamed. Saka was double-teamed. At that point, what do? There's nothing we could do. So we would kick it back to Saliba, back to Xhaka, back to Partey. And we were making them having to make these almost like dime Aaron Rodgers American football passes when that's not the case. And also on top of that, they flashed a stat. I think it was towards the end of the game. Everton have blocked the most shots in the Premier League. So it's like, okay, granted, they're probably playing defense, so they probably have more opportunities to block shots. I get that. But they were blocking everything. They were
There's
sliding.
something to be
They were
said.
getting to every ball, and we just couldn't deal with it. And yeah, I do think it was more us being sloppy. I do, but it's because of the way Everton played. Everton made us make these difficult passes.
Yeah, everything that Ryan said is, to me, is spot on. There's a blueprint now to beat us. Well, there are two blueprints, really, because I don't think that Newcastle and Everton did exactly the same thing. Newcastle just sat back, absorbed pressure, and clogged everything up. Whereas while Everton, to a degree, did the same thing, they just did it in the midfield. I think Everton were a lot more physical than Newcastle were. If anything, Newcastle, somebody would look at them wrong or burp in their general direction, Newcastle, and they would fall over like they were shot out of a gun, or were shot with a gun. Excuse me. That's two things. Number one, we need to get better at dealing with the physicality, because when teams start to figure you out, and the blueprint is there for Bournemouths, the Southamptons, Everton did it, Leeds, Nottingham Forest. These teams can look at this and say, now maybe they're not good enough to do it, but they're going to try. Sit low, just absorb the pressure, get into the passing lanes, block shots, be physical, kick them. And then when they go down, kick them again. But we have to get better at dealing with the physicality, and that comes with maturity. It'll come with more experience. Glenn, you had mentioned earlier, youngest team in the league. So what are we going to do? We're going to run
anymore.
What's that?
Not anymore.
Not the youngest team in the league anymore?
Did we lose that getting Jorginho? Because he's 31.
Oh.
I was going to get into that, Glenn, but thank you for pointing that out.
Wait, can I just say one other thing? Because you mentioned that you're not happy with Xhaka, and I want to be fair to him, because I have been very critical of him the last few years. It goes back to when he had his little incident on field, and to me, he never offered a proper apology. So I said to myself, if you're not going to offer a proper apology, then you have to show it to me on the field. And to me, Xhaka has shown that to me on the field, so I don't think about his little incident, because I think he's been playing fantastic for us. And I can't believe you forgot that awesome cross when we were watching in the pub, Ryan, from Xhaka, that you're already, on his case.
I'm not saying Xhaka is playing so bad. I'm not saying he's terrible. I'm not like I was 2 seasons ago with him, where I couldn't stand the sight of him. I just, if you had to put a weak point in our 11, I think it's him and Martinelli. But I would go more so on Xhaka, because Xhaka is kind of leaving his, almost like in a way, like he's leaving his post to go do something, to go like help out Partey, where it's like, I get it, that's fine, and Partey is a very important part. Some could say more important than Martinelli, maybe, but you're kind of, it's just you're hanging Martinelli to dry, and I don't like how Martinelli's getting all the heat when I think Xhaka should be getting some of that heat. And again, I still think Xhaka's playing very well, and I think people are going to be very surprised and very shocked. And again, this is a shot at Xhaka, but I'm trying to be a little nice about it. When we upgrade on the left 8 and we get an upgrade on Xhaka, whew.
And real quick, BG, because you were talking about getting out-muscled, don't forget, Odegaard had like his worst game as an Arsenal player last year.
But the thing is, and I've said this a million times before too, we have to remember the other team gets paid to play, and that affects. Did Martin Odegaard just wake up and it just wasn't his day? Or did Martin Odegaard not have a good day because of what Everton were doing? I think it's a little bit of both, but I lean more toward what Everton were doing as opposed to Odegaard just having a bad day. You know what I mean? I saw a lot of things with, everybody. It was a bad day for everybody to have a bad day. And yeah, but again, like Arteta said, give Everton credit, and so to bring it back to Arsenal, two things, because we have to learn to deal with the physicality better, but we also need a plan B. There's got to be another. There has to be okay, this isn't working, so I'm going to flip this switch off, and we're going to try this switch, right? And see does this style work? because there's another thing that we are really, really good at, and nobody ever talks about it, because for some reason, there are a lot of people who think that, well, but we had 60% possession, or we had 57% possession. That, I don't give a shit if we have 0% of the possession. If the ball goes in their net and it doesn't go in ours, we win. At the end of the day, stats are great for analytics, but the only stat that matters to me is goals.
Okay,
we're great at it. We're great in possession, and that's wonderful. That's our main style. But if it's not working, and it didn't work Saturday, become a counterattacking football team.
may I ask you a question?
We're gonna run past everyone they had. Our attackers are going to run past everyone they had to defend us. Who in their defense is faster than Martinelli, than Saka, than Odegaard? Then Eddie's pretty damn fast in his own right. You know, become a counterattacking football. Hey, look, that's my suggestion. Have a plan B.
But they also sat back. Like it's hard to counterattack a team that doesn't really attack either.
And there's the caveat. It's like, well, okay, so to become a counterattacking team, you almost have to kick the ball to them, which we did that too. But like literally, like, and intentionally kick them. Like, no, we're good. You take it. Come at us. We want to practice our defense and our counterattacking. So you come at us this time. You know, point being there has to be a plan B. This is where Arteta still has a lot of learning to do. He still has some growing up to do. You know,
I think we have good plan Bs. I think they're just like, so, okay, in my opinion, I think ESR is a great plan B. He's hurt. He can't play. I think Fabio Vieira is a great plan B, and he's showing bits of that, but he's still too new. He needs regular game time. I think Trossard is going to be a fantastic plan B, but he literally just joined the team, so we're going to have to wait and see. So I think who's the backup for Eddie Nketiah at striker? That's right. Butler Odoji hasn't played a minute for us in I don't think any competition. So we obviously need a striker, but obviously, hopefully, Gabriel Jesus is coming back in the next month or so. I know he just started running the other day, so we'll see. But I think we have good plan Bs. I think they all need game time. We need time to develop, and I think too. Again, and I know this person isn't well liked, and he's on loan now, so we don't have to worry about it. I think Samuel Congo would have been a great plan B. He did get game time. He couldn't adjust. His attitude could not adjust to him not playing, and he had to go. And I thought I think him going to Crystal Palace is a brilliant move. Him going to Vieira, I think this is it. I think maybe you give him another year at Crystal Palace next season, but if he can't do anything with Vieira at Crystal Palace, then we need to make money and sell him. But yeah, I think we have some good alternatives. You look at, again, Jakob Kivier. He's breaking records as far as fitness is concerned. I know, like, whatever. The Duke could do jumping jacks. Great. Congratulations. Who cares? But I think to an extent, being the fastest, having the fastest time, he had the fastest short sprint speed in Arsenal history. He had the highest jump in Arsenal history.
It's a workout warrior.
Yeah, he's working, but that's going to help us. And I'm not saying he's going to be better than Saliba and Gabriel. We need to start him now. I'm not saying that, but it's definitely a step in the right direction, and he's going to be an interesting plan B. He played also defensive midfielder, so he could do that as well. I think we have a lot of plan Bs. I think problem is when you're trying to be the youngest team, not anymore. You're trying to be one of the youngest teams in the Premier League, and you're taking this rebuild approach and getting all the young talent going. You're not going to have all your plans and your pieces all set, especially your plan B pieces, because they're very new and they need, like Eddie Nketiah said last season, just give me a run of games, then judge me. We gave him a run of games, 6 goals in 5 games last season. Now this season, what is he? 6 goals in 8 games. So, I mean, I think it's a matter of time, and we'll get into the whole Jorginho thing, but I think Jorginho also plays a role in the plan B and also plays a role going forward with this Arsenal team this season.
I would like to repeat a tweet I did a couple of days ago that sank to the bottom of the Twitter barrel right away with no likes, nothing, and I still feel this way, and um, it's a response to you guys and your concerns moving forward with this season. My tweet said, "I've gone full circle with Arteta. He was not my first choice as manager. I wound up joining the Arteta out crowd. He slowly won me back. Right now, without trophies, I would not trade him for any other manager in the world. I am confident that he has a plan C, D, E, F, all the way through to Z or Z, as our UK friends like to say. So I listen to you guys and I say, yeah, that's a good concern. That's a good concern. But I'm not worried. I'm in this nirvana place, dudes. This team went to Manchester City for the FA Cup. They basically played their starting team. We made like 5 or 6 subs, and we should have won that game. We should have beat Everton if we just hit a couple more chances, but we didn't. And that crowd was amazing. If any Everton fans watch this, you guys are friggin' fantastic. So, yeah, be concerned, guys, but I'm in this really cool place right now as far as Arsenal Football Club goes. And it's not just the pot talking. It's how I really feel.
I'm not concerned.
No.
I'm
Not concerned at all.
well, that's not necessarily true. I'm cautiously, I'm a little concerned. There is now, as I said, there is now a blueprint to beat us. The question is, can the teams that are going to try to do it, or can they do it? You know what I mean? I mean, every team has a style that they want to play. So does your style, does Team A's style outdo our style? You know what I mean? Like when we put them up against one another, is it immovable force meets, or the irresistible force meeting the immovable object? Or are we going to run through someone like a Bournemouth if they try to play the way they want to play because we're just better than they are, and it doesn't matter what they try to do? I think and the other thing too is that watching the first half, I was like, man, just get to halftime. Just get to halftime. We'll go in. We'll make some adjustments, and hopefully our talent starts to shine through. Our quality starts to come through and will win the day for us. And at the end of the day, I saw somebody, and I don't remember who it was, tweet basically, Everton were always going to make this a set piece game. That's where the game was going to be won or lost, if in fact that was a result and not a draw. But it was always going to come down to set pieces. And it did. But I just feel like watching the game, and Ryan, I hear what you're saying about different players being alternative plans, but when they come on, I understand they may bring something different, but are they going to bring that something different? Is ESR going to bring a different tactic when he comes on? Is Arteta in his ear? Okay, look, you're coming on, you're going to do this. You're going on for whomever. Vieira came on for Odegaard. Did he come on for Odegaard? Did he come on for
Yeah, he did.
Okay. Who came on for part 2? Oh, Jorginho came on. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's how memorable he was. When Vieira came on for Odegaard, is Arteta pulling him aside saying, okay, look, here's what we're going to do. I don't want you doing what Martin was doing. I want you to do this instead. We're going to sort of switch things around a little bit. I want you to play more this way. I want you to do this instead of what Martin is doing. And he goes in, once he gets out there, he translates that to everybody. Hey, we're doing something a little different. Simply changing up the players and not changing up the tactics, to me, now I'm not saying that if you're going to do one, you have to do the other. But on Saturday, I don't think you had to change the players to change the tactics, nor do I think you had to change the tactics to change the players. So you understand it. To me, it's not just replacing like for like and hoping to get a different result. You've got to do something different. What Everton did was take away damn near everything we want to try to do every game. That's where Arteta has to look at it and say, fuck, man, I'm down my list here of ideas and I'm running out of ideas. What do I got to do? And I just feel like the physicality, with Everton, the way that they set up. I mean, what they have 5 in the midfield. What I don't even know what formation they played, for crying out loud. It was like a 3-5-1-1 or some such thing. I mean, just 5 guys. The middle of the field was clogged up no matter where you looked. It was just there were just blue shirts everywhere. So I don't know that. I don't know that prime Barcelona would have gotten through that. I'm sure they would have, but you know what I mean. Anything that concerns me, Glenn, that would be the only thing. But it's not enough of a concern for me to be jumping off a bridge like I think we all saw a lot of people doing on Saturday. Go ahead.
Okay, you can tell, right? You can tell when I get all antsy that I want to ask you a question. True or false, there's no wrong answer because it's just opinion. Mikel Arteta has gotten significantly better at running a game.
Ooh,
Is this a question of both of us or just Tanner? I don't know.
Go ahead, Ryan. If you've got an answer, go ahead.
I think he's the same, but I think the thing now is I think the players realize what he wants, what his tactics are, because I think they are complicated. They're a little complex, and I think the players now can do what he asks for. I don't think he's really changed. I think the plan's still there, and I think that's why. I guess in a way, this could be kind of toward Mikel being stubborn. I don't know. But I think his tactics and the way he plays football is just so brilliant that I don't think he needs to really have a plan B. I think I think this is why I think the players need to be the plan B. I think the ESRs, the Trossards of the world, who are more direct, they can play different positions. The Fabio Vieiras, I think they, and even, obviously Jesus is hurt, so Eddie Nketiah has to play. But even when comparing Eddie Nketiah to Jesus, like, they play striker differently. I think it does. I think the way we're playing, and I think Mikel's tactics, I think, are just very well. I think they're just very good, and I think the players know them very well. I think in a way, I think the plan B is. I think the plan B is the players more so than the actual plan itself.
When I asked that question, I thought it was a slam dunk that both of you would say, of course that's true. He's gotten better. Okay, go ahead, VG.
Well, don't give Tanner the answer. Now he's going to say true.
No,
he disagrees with me. I can tell.
The question was, or the statement was that Arteta has gotten significantly better at in-game management.
No.
If I'm taking that statement literally, then my answer is false. I don't think he's gotten significantantly better. I think he's gotten maybe marginally better.
Looks like Glenn's twitching. Is he having a stroke?
Oh, sorry. I really am shocked. I really am shocked.
Well, I do agree with Ryan, because I think it's also down to the players understand what it is he wants to do better. I would say there have been times where, yes, we've struggled in the first half and we've come out and dominated the second half. And you could see very clear adjustments being made that were made at halftime, translating to the pitch. So there are moments of adjust. Now, is that the players, or I am gonna credit the manager for the change in not a full change in system, but just tweaking things here and there with certain players and saying, okay, you're over here doing this. Do me a favor, move up and do that instead of being back here and doing this. Move up and do that. You know what? So little tweaks here and there. Yes. I'm not thrilled with. Now we're talking in-game management, so I'm gonna maybe run the gamut here of all things considered. I'm still not thrilled with the way that he substitutes. I'm not thrilled with the timing, and I'm not always thrilled with the players that he brings on versus the players that he's taking off. Sometimes, like Ryan, back me.
We'll see.
You agree with everything I'm going to say.
We'll see. Right now, I don't.
If we have a game well in hand, even if it's 2-0 at 65 minutes, and you say that's a lot of time for a 2-goal lead. If we're dominating possession, they're not getting anything. The only thing the opponent can really do is kick the ball long, hope and a prayer. Bring on El Neni, man, and get Partey off. Bring El Neni on when he's healthy, obviously. But that's your closer. That's the dude that just shuts everything down. That's the fifth defender. Partey will get forward. He's looked at it a bit as a fifth defender, but he also gets forward. Mo Elneny's not looking to push forward and trying to score, and all of the things that go with what Thomas Partey brings. I'm not so that's just an example of substitutions where I think there's an opportunity missed.
It's to Oxford.
Well, yeah, but if Elneny's coming on with the rest of the starting 11.
No, yeah, I'm kidding.
And that's just one of those things that it's like, okay, look, we're not chasing a game. We're not chasing another goal. Lock it down. Park the bus. We're done. That's it. You know what I mean? And there are times when I'm like, he's got to freshen something up here. He's got to do something. And I'm not going to sit here and give a specific example of when I thought he could do that. We all see those moments where it's like something's got to change. We got to get somebody off. We got to bring somebody on. And he doesn't do it. So the way you worded it, Glenn, I would say if you would have just said he's gotten better, I would have said true but significantly better.
That's why I said significantly, because I was trying to counter what you were saying.
Yeah, I don't think he's gotten significantly better. I think a lot of our successes are because of him, but I also think they're because of the players. And I think what he's doing, real quick, if you'll humor me, it's not always, I've said it before, it's not about getting the best players. It's about getting the right players. And we're finally starting to do that. We're getting the right players now in the transfer market to come in and play this system and play this style that are going to buy in to the magic that Arteta is selling to us as a fan base, to the board, to ownership. That's what it's about. And so when we get that, it's a perfect storm.
Yeah.
We've got the manager that's the motivator and the tactician. Now we've got the players to carry out the game plan.
We're almost there, man. As far as depth goes, if you would have told me last season that Tierney would not be starting, I would have been like, what? Did he get hurt? Zinchenko had a shitty game last game, but wow, he is getting all the right players. Yes.
I mean, the starting 11 is the starting 11 for a reason. So, I think something that I even say, and I know a lot of people say, like, he subs too late and he needs to make a sub earlier in the game. He just trusts his 11 that much. And it can be to a fault. I won't lie. It can be. But, I mean, has the 11 really let him down this season? We've lost 2 games. How many have we drew? 2, 3? But regardless, I think because of the January transfer window, when you have Trossard, you have – yes, we didn't set on any. We've had, LA's hurt, but I'm talking about before he got hurt. Your Rob Holdings. I think that you need to kind of rely on your bench a little bit more. I think he does trust the 11 a little too much. I don't know though, but it's working. So I can't sit here and berate him over that.
I wouldn't say that he trusts the 11 too much, because I don't know that that's. I'm not trying to be argumentative when I say this. I don't know that you can trust someone too much unless they have not let him down. So therefore, I don't think he can trust them too much. What I don't think he trusts the bench, and that's
same. I mean, yeah.
And I'm taking what you said. I'm wording it differently because Sambi Lokonga, whom you mentioned earlier, there's a guy that needed to play. He needs to play, and in the moments where and look, bringing a guy on for the last 5 minutes of a game is not game time. I'm sorry, that's not game time. That is, you're putting Rob Holding in the last 6 minutes of a game because you have a lead and you're locking it down. That's why Rob Holding is getting on the pitch. Period. This isn't. I want to give him some playing time. You give a guy a half hour, 25 minutes, half hour.
No. Unless that wig gives you extra heading power, I don't want to see Holding in ever.
Well, but here's the thing with that.
I don't think we will now with Kivior.
You have the thing is you have to trust these guys.
I know.
In order to trust them, they have to get game time, and that's why I saw all of the hatred from Sambi Lokonga. Now, I will say that I do not think he is going to be here next season. I just don't. I don't think Arteta trusts him. But that's not all down to Lokonga. I think look. You're a manager, but you're also a coach. You're a coach. You are paid to coach these players. Coach them up. You have to coach them to the point that you trust them, and you have to give them opportunity to earn your trust. That's the only downside with Arteta right now, is that some of these guys, I get what you're saying, Ryan, about the starting 11. They've never let them down. Why change? If it's not broke, don't fix it, right? But it's all 18. It's all 25. These guys all have to play, because you never know when that injury bug is going to jump up and bite you.
As far as Sambi goes, real quick, I had to look up his age. He's 23. To me, he's just not football mature enough yet, and I think going out on loan is the best thing for him. I'm not ready to give up on the kid yet, but he's got to recover. He's got to mature faster. On Bergkamp Wonderland about a week ago, Danny was showing about 5-year-old Arsenal starting lineups, and I literally was getting PTSD watching it. Like, ew. Guys, we got a damn good team with pretty good depth. Stop worrying. This is not as it used to be. We're winning games that we never used to win. We always, we'd drop points to this one or one of the big four we'd lose to. We're winning these games now. Calm the F down.
Oh, I'm calm. I'm all right. I think Ryan is too. I don't think any of us are ready to jump off a bridge over anything that we've seen right now.
I also don't want to jack Arsenal off either, because how much fun would that be for an hour? We got it. I mean, as guys talking Arsenal, you got to put yes. That didn't go.
What are you watching?
Oh, Arsenal U18.
So
we were down 2-0 and we came back. It's now 4-2, and it's time. So
I'm not saying we all sit here. I'm not going to use Ryan's description and just talk positively for an hour.
Well, you could just look Prince and Wolf if you would like. Let's not suck each other's dicks just yet, gentlemen.
I enjoy. Like, I was shocked when you guys didn't think Arteta significantly got better at in-game management.
No, I think the players got significantly better learning his tactics, learning his football.
So and I'm hearing opinions that I don't necessarily agree with, but I'm just waiting my turn. Go ahead.
No, I like Ryan said, if this were nothing but if all we did was sit here and blow fairy corns or fairy dust and unicorns up Arsenal's ass,
fashion suck off.
That's not what I'm saying.
No, I mean it's we're in a very good place. We are in a very good place, and there is not much reason. I don't see any reason, quite frankly, for the reactions that we saw. Some of the reactions that we saw Saturday. And look, you can.
But I do think we could play a step. Like, we could definitely go up a level. I think they're.
Yeah, we're still young. We're okay. Jorginho fucked our average age over. Whatever. Ryan, I'm going to give you an opportunity here. I did. You know what, Glenn? You got
what?
If you've got popcorn, or if you've got a blunt to smoke, now would be the time, because I'm going to give Ryan the floor here to go off on the Jorginho.
All right, and you know what? Since my wife has been working here, I have a fairy dust box, so I can blow more fairy dust at you guys about Arsenal for the rest of the show. What the fuck is in here? What the fuck is this? There's 3 of these things in here. Whatever. Go ahead, Ryan. What was your answer?
These are probably things that that's a Pandora's box that you probably don't want to do. It's like don't reach your hand in her purse, man. You're gonna pull out a
Ryan,
you're gonna there's gonna be a cock in there, and you're gonna pull it out. You're like, oh
no. That just ruined everything. Ryan, you were gonna talk about Jorginho. I'm sorry to interrupt.
I'll be listening. I'm not leaving you. I will hear you, but go for it.
I don't really. So, I mean, I'll be honest. Over the past couple of months, I haven't been terribly active on Twitter. The one thing I was very active about was the signing of Jorginho, as I like to call him.
Oh, is that how you pronounce it?
Jorginho, yeah. I don't like him as a footballer. I think he's a prick. I think the best way I can describe him, he is a Bruno Fernandes. He is a Neil.
Might be a prick. God damn it, he's our prick now.
Easy. I'm getting there. Easy. For a little more recency bias for some people. He's Neil. What the fuck is his name? Neil Mbappe. the fucking reject that played for Everton and tried to get Zinchenko sent off.
Neil Mopai.
Yeah, Mupay.
I know. All right.
I don't care to learn his name because he got Leno injured and he started this whole fucking thing, which I guess shout out to him. But
All right, don't get distracted.
I
Stay
still
on point.
Anyways, yeah, I don't. He's a good footballer. Or he was. He actually is lighting up. He was a good footballer, and I think he played well for Chelsea. I think he did a lot of good things. I think he was Chelsea's Thomas Partey. But he's the oldest player in our squad now. Now it's Cedric going out on loan to Fulham. He's the oldest player in our squad currently, and I just didn't want him. I didn't think he'd fit in the dressing room. I really wanted Casado. I really wanted Bamba. Like there was a lot of players that I think could have took this midfielder role that we could have signed and did wonders with. But deadline day we got Jorginho, and I was upset. I was very upset. But when the signing actually went through, it became official. He got the number 20. Arsenal.com tweeted about it, all that stuff. I go, well, he's Arsenal. He's got my support. And when you look down and I thought of this while we were linked to him as well. But again, I just wanted Moises. I wanted Bamba. I wanted all these other alternatives. I think we could have got another alternative. But people tend to forget we're top of the league. We're 5 points clear, and we need to keep the status quo. At this current point of the January, well, let's just go back a few weeks. We're at the January transfer window. We're 5 points clear, game in hand. I mean, I guess it's right now anyway. I'm going to ask you guys this question: would you rather raise the floor or raise the ceiling of our team?
First of all, I don't know what that means.
All right. So essentially, like you're raising the floor is like making your worst players better, or you're making the ceiling higher.
Let me answer it, and my answer I think will explain it to Glenn.
Okay.
So I think he raises the floor.
No. I'm asking what do you? And I'm not saying what Jorginho does. This is a separate question. Would you rather raise currently looking at our roster being one of the? Are you showing me your dick, Glenn? Sorry, I didn't know what you were. I thought you were humping. You were jousting at me.
I thought someone was in
would
the room.
you, given our current position, and given what we're doing, being the youngest team, would you rather raise the ceiling for? I mean, let's face it too. Raising the ceiling is going to cost us exponentially, way more money. So, obviously. So, you're going to spend more money and raise the ceiling in January. Or are you going to cheaper, but you're going to raise the floor?
I'm going to raise the floor.
Okay. Yeah.
Here's why. Okay. I'm happy with the starting 11. As you just said, starting 11 hasn't really let us down. We're top of the league with that starting 11. And I dare say, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being a little overzealous here. But I would take this starting 11, and I would put it up against anyone in the Champions League right now. I'm not saying that I would like our chances, but I'd like our chances against most. I'd absolutely take our chances with this starting 11 in the Champions League. And I do know how we're going to try to raise the ceiling in the summer. Right now, for where we are and what it is that we need to do to see this run out and win the league, I think we needed to raise the floor.
Okay.
Do you understand what
Ryan,
this means now?
Yeah, now I understand what that means. And in Arteta, I trust. Whoever he wants is fine with me. Ceiling, hot raise, floor, the crushing doors of Star Wars, whatever. I don't care. As I trust in Arteta. Ryan, I need to talk to you. Let's pretend for a moment, since you are young enough to be my child.
Oh, good. Arteta sticks out of your mouth. Okay, yeah, talk. Let's go. I'm listening.
Let's just pretend for a moment that I'm giving you fatherly advice. Okay, son?
Oh, boy.
Okay. All right. So, first of all, get rid of that thing behind you. I don't know what that is.
My side being right jersey?
When you get, that thing.
The unicorn.
Peloton?
All right, never mind, son. Keep it there. That's fine.
Okay.
Nobody wants to go in your room anyway. Don't worry. So here's the deal. Okay, son? When we got Jorginho, everybody was disappointed. The thing is, when you're don't talk back, son. When you're when you're old like me, You get wisdom, okay? And you sit back and you relax and you
Also, like
think about
senile
it.
too.
Yes, that's right. And you wear adult diapers when you're taking your daughter to New Jersey because you're going to piss yourself if you don't. So, anyway, son, listen. You take your time, and with wisdom, with age comes wisdom, and you realize, okay, he wasn't the first, second, or third, or fourth choice, but it was a damn good insurance policy for a title run. And son, if you just use some patience instead of instantly making sex jokes, you might be better off. Okay.
Okay, Dad. Well, as being the dad that you are, you also need to learn to not interject when I'm not done talking, and answer my question. Because the reason why I asked said question, because I agree with. So you didn't answer my question, but yeah, fuck it. You don't need to answer my question. So I agree with Tanner. I think come January, I think the better option is to raise the floor. I think raising the ceiling doesn't really make too much sense unless we can get a really good bargain on a player that's leaving and their contract's expiring, and we don't think we could probably get him this summer. I think you raise the floor, and I think Jorginho is the best signing to raise the floor. And I think it was a very smart signing from Arteta. I think Arteta has wanted him for a few years. I think given us being a very heavily possession-based team, I think Jorginho is perfect. I think in games where we're going to have a lot of the possession, I think Jorginho is going to shine. And I think, you know what? No, I take that back. Maybe he won't shine, but I think he'll make the players around him shine because he'll hold the status quo. Because, again, the floor is raised. So at the end of the day, like, yeah, I think he makes our football team. What?
The ceiling is the roof.
No, the ceiling's raised.
I'll explain it to you later.
Whatever. But no, I think it was a very good signing. I think it was a very smart signing from Arsenal. I think it was a great signing for us. I think for where we want to go this season, for what we want to do, I think he might be the best signing for us. But again, I'm looking further into the future because we have Saka, we have Martinelli, we have all these pieces that are going to be with us for a long time, which shout out to Martinelli for signing his extension, our new contract. And Saka will too, and so will Saliba. But, you know, I just think given what we need to do right now, I think it's a very smart signing. I'm very curious as to what we're going to do in the summer now because his contract is we do have him for next season. I don't know if we're going to maybe plan on selling him in the summer. I don't know. But it will be interesting because I do want Declan Rice. I do want Moises. I think we can get both. We'll probably have to pay out the ass for Declan Rice, but and I said this to my friend, big City fan. I think we're going to pay a lot for Declan Rice, but I think Arteta is going to make him the best holding midfielder in football if he comes to Arsenal. I said that to him, and I believe that, and I think he'll be one of the best players in England. Obviously not better than Saka, but he'll be close. But yeah, I genuinely think that Jorginho was a good signing, and I know Glenn thought I was going to come here and bash him, and that's why he gave me his fatherly advice. But
hey, listen.
I turned the tables. I topsy-turvy that motherfucker, and I actually think it's a very good signing. I just don't like him as a player. I think he's a prick, and I was always rooted against him. Like a Bruno Fernandes, every time he touches the ball, I get like the heebie-jeebies all over me, and my skin crawls. And it was very similar. It's very similar with Jorginho. So hopefully he doesn't let me down. And I guess it's another positive. Like I can hate somebody else on Arsenal and kind of take off some of the pressure from Xhaka. But I like him this season, so it's okay.
You know what?
But no, I think I really do, Glenn. I really think it's a good signing. I just think the player, like the player, is just he's a real prick. But yeah, like Kenny said,
all right. Stay on the rails, Mr. Slot Car. Listen, that was very positive. I'm proud of you, son. Okay, go.
You know what? The thing with Jorginho is, like you said, Ryan, it's not a long deal, and I think that's what makes it. That's what makes it better because I don't have the hatred for him that you did or do still. That hatred, like you said, Bruno, for Fernandes, for me, it's Son at the scumbags. That, like, I can't stand him. Like that, if I heard that we were linked with him, I'd be like, no, no.
Who?
Nope. Heung-min Son from.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Like that, but like that's the example for me of Jorginho or Bruno Fernandes for you. Like if I heard we were linked with him, I'd be like, what? Why? No. I don't want him at all. That dude is a scumbag. But anyway, I don't think I heard you say this. So I'm not going to put words in your mouth. I'm going to say it myself. And if you agree, throw it out there. I'm very happy with the way that this transfer window played out.
Wait, I'm sorry. I was just over there for a second. Did I hear you say you were happy, for crying out loud?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm very happy in retrospect at the way this window played out. Mudryk for $100 million insert currency here. Are you? I know Glenn is high.
What?
Exactly.
Mudryk, $100 million. I'm listening to you.
I'm seeing these prices, and I'm like, are we really? Is he that good?
No, he isn't.
Do that, and ultimately we didn't. And we go with a player that I think is going to fit what we're doing in the here and now much better than what that dude was going to be a club record signing to ride the bench.
See, to me, that's part of the joy of being an Arsenal supporter is we do things right. $100 million for him? Get the fuck out of here. We'll go somewhere else. Thank you.
I wouldn't have paid 60 for him.
All right, now you're talking crazy. He's going to be a very good player. He's going to be a very good player.
Here's my point. Is that I don't know that I said this controversial opinion on Mudryk real quick. Before you jump in on this thought, let me finish my other thought.
Okay.
All right, go.
Mudryk, and I just fucking lost it.
Welcome to old age, PG.
I thought during the window and leading up to it, all of this link talk of Mudryk, I thought this is a luxury signing. We're not at a point where it is DEFCON 2, we need a winger. Now, this was Reece Nelson, longer-term injury, ESR. I'm really hoping he can patch up the glass work because I'm starting to think he's made of glass right now. And I love him, and I want him to be here, and I want him to be part of everything. But man, oh man, if he can't stay healthy. But I just looked at Mudryk and I thought we have other options. There are other things we can do. Mm-hmm. We don't need to spend 80 million pounds on a winger that is massively unproven at the level that we are at and the levels that we want to go to. Yeah. I thought that would have been
so is most of the players we've been signing.
I agree. But to finish my previous thought, everything we did in January with the is it Kivior? Is that how it's pronounced?
It's I know it's like
Kiwior. I think the W is pronounced like a V. It's Polish.
Kivior. Yeah, Kivior. Like kiwi, like the fruit kiwi.
That's the signing. That's the signing for the future. Trossard that's a depth signing. It's a signing for now, but it's a depth signing. It's not you're coming in to challenge Martinelli for that left foot. Nope. No, you're not. You're coming in to supplant him if he needs a break. You're behind him on the depth chart. And Jorginho over Caicedo, 100%. Now, I'm not saying don't go get Caicedo, but right now we don't need a project. We needed a dick in a glass case. In case
I'm going to start a book of BG-isms or something. A dick in a glass case? I don't want it, thank you.
He's a platonic friend. He's a dick in a glass. This is a.
Oh, is that what that? I'm so old. Okay, go ahead.
But he's a platonic friend. In case of emergency, he's a dick in a glass case.
Oh, now I get it.
Anyway, that's what Jorginho is, and the contract that we gave him for 18 months shows that. I don't want the project because if we get Caicedo in, we want him to play. Right? We want to see what he's got. He's got to play. And you know what we get with Caicedo in January? We get Sambi Lokonga. That's what we get. Better than Sambi Lokonga? Yes. But
Caicedo is plays for Brighton though, so I think it's a little bit better than what you're leading on.
No, but you see what I'm saying. He's not all of a sudden going to come in and Thomas Partey's going to get relegated to the bench for no reason other than Caicedo's better than him right now. I don't think. I don't think so. You know what I mean?
I think Caicedo can come off the bench and play a role for us.
I agree.
Like Jorginho is going to play.
I agree wholeheartedly with that. My point is we're going to want to see, as a fan base, I think we would want to see more of Caicedo than we do of Jorginho, simply because of A, the money that we paid to get him, and B, the pedigree that he's going to come with, and C, the expectation that we think Arteta would have for him. Jorginho, again, is just, we know what he is. He's going to come in off the bench. He's going to get the odd start here and there. And if he's okay with that, perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Give me the project in the summertime. You know what I mean? So that we've got a whole summer to get him integrated, and we start playing him once the new season starts. Same thing with Mudryk versus Trossard.
It's the same argument. The Trossard and Mudryk and the Jorginho and Caicedo is literally the same exact thing.
That's what I'm saying.
I
agree happy with the transfer window.
I also disagree with you in the fact that I think Caicedo is more proven than you think. I think Caicedo could have done everything that Jorginho is going to do. I think the reason why we wanted Caicedo over Jorginho was because he's younger.
The longer
and he's a long-term guy. And I think what the plan was he was going to be a backup for Thomas Partey, but I think he was going to slowly transition into Xhaka, and he's going to take Xhaka's role, and I think we're going to bring in Declan Rice in the summer. Would
he have morphed into that role between now and the end of the season?
Well, he's played both roles. He played Xhaka's role under Graham Potter, and then he plays more of Partey's role under one of the fucking guys.
No. I agree with. I think you're misunderstanding me. I agree with what you're saying, and I think he's better than Jorginho now and in the long term. I'm saying from an expectation standpoint, and I'll speak for myself. If we're going to spend £80 million on Moises Caicedo, I want to see him play. I want him to play. And I don't think he would have played enough now.
Well, just this season.
That's what I mean.
I don't. I mean,
and to me, I say,
I guess it's where I'm different than the average fan, because I don't expect, I want us to win.
I think, but I also think that there's a very large portion of the fan base that would have said the same thing. I'm not saying that I would have expected him to play. I probably wouldn't have. Because again, the starting 11 hasn't let us down. There's no reason to not start a Thomas Partey. Granit Xhaka is going to get a contract extension. I'm going to go out on record right now.
I think he's going to retire with us, and I think he'll almost be like the Jack Wilshere, where he'll coach.
Yeah, and I think he's going to go into coach. Yep.
He's going to coach
100%. But I don't think Granit Xhaka is going anywhere.
No.
And I don't think he would get dropped out of this. I don't think he's getting dropped out of the starting 11 this year for anything. He's going to have
this year. No. Next year,
he's going to have to be missing a limb, and by limb I mean foot or leg, because he can do it without an arm.
Xhaka has come so far. In the summer, I remember talking
real quick. Xhaka has come so far. That's where Mikel Arteta has made significant progress in coaching him up and creating a role for him. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
In the summer, I wish I could remember who I had this quick exchange with. I'm really sorry I don't remember your name. I was begging Arsenal to get another midi, and the person wrote to me, well, whoever we get is not going to replace Xhaka. And I'm like, I think that's nuts, but I respect your opinion. He was right. Nobody we get's going to replace Xhaka. Almost anybody we get's not going to replace Xhaka. The other thing I want to mention, going back to this transfer window, I think we did everything right. I agree with everything that you guys said. I want to go back to Mudryk, because I think he was shown to be such a friggin' phony. You remember all the stories. We all thought we were going to get him. He talked about his love, wanting to come to Arsenal. And what did he wind up doing when we were way overpaying for him in the beginning? He went for $1 more. He turned into Jerry Maguire. Show me the money. Don't tell me you want to come here, if you're going to get $1 more. Screw you.
Glenn, here's a conspiracy for you. And I don't want to go down this road, but I'm just throwing it out there. I think his hands were tied. I do think with all the twerking, that seemed to be the favorite phrase or favorite word for us to use to describe him. All of the twerking that he was doing for us on his Instagram and everything else, and seeming to be forcing this move. You don't do what he did by signing for Chelsea and then come to find out that some of that money's going to help the war effort in Ukraine. I think there was a backroom deal somewhere, or a backroom handshake. I don't know that he had a choice in the matter. I think he was always going to Chelsea.
The United States just gave like $10 billion to Ukraine. I don't know what that's in his contract that would make a difference.
Glenn, you and I can talk about that later.
I don't give a fuck.
No, I just had to counterpoint what he just said about that being in the contract. I don't think that made a lick of difference. And so, but remember, I agree with you guys. I don't want to be like Ryan and argue when I agree with you.
It's fun though.
As far as Caicedo goes, you know what? There's a clip, I don't remember from what show it is, but this guy, it's a cop, and he says, did we become the baddies? And Arsenal became the baddies, but that's what trophy-winning teams do when it came to Caicedo. They didn't want to sell him. We said, here's some more money. We want him. We're not selling him. Here's some more money. And, so to me, and he wasn't going to start, I agree with you, BG. So I just wanted to say that, again, 2 positives for Arsenal. Not overpaying for Mudryk, the phony. And I know BG made a great point against that, by the way. And great job on Caicedo. We tried.
Go
ahead, Ryan.
No, I was going to say, I don't know. I think I was on the Mr. Arsenal podcast, which is, if you guys hate us so much, I don't know. Well, then why the fuck are you here? But if you hate us so much, you can check them out. I think they're live still now. Good show.
Wait, who hates who?
Please. Nothing. Glenn.
I don't hate anybody.
Glenn, shush. I brought this up on his show. I got lambasted a little bit, but I do agree. If you're Mudryk, I think, and you want to play and you want the quickest path to stardom, Chelsea is the destination for you. Yeah, they're signing everybody, but at the time when they got him, I think they still didn't sign as half the players that they did. But he knows that he's gonna play. You have players that are definitely falling out of touch with Graham Potter. You Pulisic, Mason Mount, all that good stuff. Raheem Sterling, who I think is injured, but he's not really playing. I think he's back from injury. And I just think he saw this as an opportunity to get rich quick, so to speak, and become the star or be the star quick. Because with Arsenal, he had to deal with Martinelli. He had to deal with Saka. He had to deal with even academy kids. We have the best academy in the world. I don't care what anyone says. I just thought he saw he saw it as like a long road to becoming the star. And to be fair, and maybe I'm wrong, but I do think we are one of, if not the number one club in the fan base, as far as we want our homegrown players, we want our academy kids to succeed. So like if it's an academy kid against Mudryk, and the Mudryk's a little bit better, but it's like close enough, the fans are going to want the academy kid just because he's been with us. He's been with us since the beginning. They're not going to want the guy we paid fucking almost $100 million for. But I will say I really wanted Mudryk. I think he would have been a great fit for us. I think, again, it goes to the Caicedo-Jorginho debate. I'm happy with Trossard. I think for what we want to do now, I think Trossard's a better signing. But Mudryk, I think this argument's a little different in the fact that I think Mudryk is going to be like something special. He's already hit the top speed in the Premier League. He's the fastest player in the Premier League, and he's only played 2 games. I'm pretty sure he hit it in the first game too. So his first game as a Chelsea player, he was the fastest. Or I don't fucking know how that works, but yeah, I genuinely believe that he's going to be a really good player. Now, the problem is with Chelsea, especially now with Todd Boehly, who, again, he wasn't familiar with, and most of Chelsea fans aren't familiar with him either. I don't think he's going to be in for he's going to be in for a rude awakening, where I think Todd Boehly is just going to keep buying and buying and buying until he has that perfect squad. And I hate to break it to you, Todd, it's not going to happen. So yeah, I was a little upset about that. I think he's gonna be the real deal. But fuck it. I'm happy with what we got. I'm still, I wasn't the happiest with Jorginho just because of the player that he is, but like, does he make us better? Yes. Is he a very smart footballer? As far as technically, yeah, you bet your ass he is. He has fallen off a little bit, but that's fine. We don't need him to replace Partey. We need him to just accompany him. If Partey goes down, he's there. If we're playing Southampton and Partey if Partey wasn't going today, we would who would have played? Who would have played in Partey's position? So I mean, we've got to kind of trust him. We got to roll with it. And I'm happy. And as much as I don't want to see him lift the trophy with us, it is what it is. I think the ceiling, the floor being raised is going to benefit us for this season as far as the ceiling. And the ceiling being raised will come in the summer when we sign Declan Rice, when we hopefully go back and sign. I always forget how to pronounce his name. Saedo.
I've said
Caicedo. Yeah.
I say Caicedo.
And then more. I have a feeling we're gonna be doing a lot of recruiting in the summer, especially since it'll be our first season since we signed Granit Xhaka that we are in the Champions League, and we will sign the replacement to Granit Xhaka. And I'm gonna make a bold claim here. I wouldn't be surprised if Xhaka is not in the starting 11 at the beginning of next season. I think we might sign his replacement in the summer.
Okay, I just want to respond to part of that. Going back to Mudryk, okay, I agree with Ryan. I think he's going to be a great player, but that's no guarantee. But I do like what I see with him. And as far as not choosing Arsenal and thinking Chelsea's the better team, who's the most exciting team in the Premier League right now? We are. I don't buy that Chelsea's a better fit for him. You want to get, on the semi-ground floor of the most exciting team in the Premier League. It's going to contend for seasons to follow this one. Arsenal is the place to be. You can't buy your way out of 10th place or wherever the hell Chelsea is right now. And Mudryk, you know what? He's 22. The decisions I made when I was 22. It's amazing I'm alive here talking to you. So you don't make good decisions at 22. I don't fault the kid. They whispered.
That's why, like I said, he's a kid. He wanted the quickest way to start him in the Premier League, and that's Chelsea. He wasn't going to be a star for us right now, anyways, because he knew he wasn't going to play. Okay. Is he going to supplant Martinelli? He's going to play inside? No, he's not. Whereas Chelsea, he started his last game. I don't know who they fucking just played. He started. They pulled him off at halftime. Don't know what happened. Apparently he didn't play well. I didn't watch the game, but I think he's if you want that quick path to success as far as individually, and I think when you're 22, you are thinking individually unless you're in this Arteta squad. I think you are thinking individually, and I think Chelsea's the play. I think Chelsea is the play. But I think in long term, he's a moron. He should have came to us. And now every time he touches the ball at the Emirates Stadium, he's going to get booed, and rightfully so.
I don't think he should get booed. I think they should laugh at him.
Or whatever, laugh at him. I mean, whatever. I think laughing would be way better.
And as a final thought on Jorginho, or how do you say it, Ryan? I've been saying it wrong.
No, you're right. I say Jorginho because I didn't want to sign him.
I hope he turns into the midfield version of what we went through when we sold Van Persie to United, and they can just watch us win with Jorginho, win the title. I know it was United, but I want to do that to Chelsea now with Jorginho, and I hope that happens because I really, really like him.
You like Jorginho?
Yeah, I really do. He's not as good defensively as I'd like, but he makes up for it in ball distribution, and he's a smart leader.
He is, but he's also terrible when we don't have the. So when we play like a Man City where we might not have the ball, and I think Man U, we didn't know they have possession on us. Like when we play teams that possess the ball a lot, he's gonna be useless tits on a bullfrog. We need him for games against the Bournemouths, the Southamptons. But again, like he's. I mean, I hate to say papering over the cracks, but there's really no cracks, and we're gonna nearly need him for 6 months.
You're reinforcing.
Yeah, reinforcing. Maybe he could be of use to us. Maybe he could be useful to us till next January. I don't know.
Ryan,
I'd like to think we signed someone to take
real
role.
quick, BG. Ryan, when we were at the pub watching the game, I specifically remember asking you, do you think we need another midi? You said no. I think El Nenny's good enough to fill.
Yeah, that's before I knew El Nenny was out for the season.
No. But what I'm saying, dude, is that how can you not be happy with Jorginho just because of his defense? Is that what you're significantly worried about? Because you look at El Nenny as our closer on defense.
So if you told me El Nenny was healthy and we have the option, like again, and I listen, we won't. Let's not mince words here. Everyone's gonna be.
And I promise BG this would be quick, so don't give a long answer.
I'm going to be quick. Maybe not. I'm biased. You two know this. The people in the chat knows. Everyone that's going to be watching on replay are going to know this. I'm biased. But if you told me we could sign Jorginho for $15 million or a fully healthy El Nenny and he won't be hurt for the rest of the season, he's going to be there for Partey, I'm taking El Nenny all day long. But he's not. He's hurt. He's out for the year. Rumors are he's out for the season, and we're going to give him an extension, which I fucking love this club. We're going to give him an extension to rehab here and be with the team. And I think he could be a coach that he could be a player that maybe retires with us and goes into coaching. I would just not spend the money and maybe keep it, shelve it for the summer to where we could kind of maybe overpay for Declan Rice, maybe overpay for dude. I every time I'm about to say his name, my brain goes blank. Moises. I'm just gonna say Moises. I think we could use that money for maybe I don't want to say another striker because we have Jesus, we have Balogun, who we haven't mentioned yet, who's tearing it up in Ligue 1, which yes, I get. It's the redheaded stepchild of the five leagues in Europe. But he's playing with men, scoring the game winner at the death against PSG is nothing to scoff at. And he just got a hat trick too. They were nice goals too. Well, two of them were. I think one was a penalty, but
one was a penalty. The other two were really nice.
Yeah, really nice goals.
And Kenny is another one I had to apologize to. So, I was very down on him, and he proved me wrong. So I'm not going to doubt Balogun just because he's playing in France.
I think Balogun's going to be better than Eddie. Just when we look back,
I think so too. But it's going to be
right
tough.
Now, right now,
put our eggs in Eddie's basket.
I think over the entirety of each of their careers, I think Balogun will end up being better. He'll be better than Eddie.
So real quick, I just want to respond to Big Gooner. He said Jorginho could possibly win a game. I don't agree. I think Jorginho is a very smart player. I don't want to because him and El Nenny play two different ways, so I don't want to compare him to El Nenny, but I think he enables everyone to play better around him. So do you want to credit him for winning the game? That to him for winning the game? Maybe, but I don't. And we're top of the league. I didn't want to sign a midfielder that's going to turn the tide for us. I don't think Jorginho turns the tide for us. Jorginho is someone that's going to replace Partey. He's smart with the ball. He can make a recovery or two, but he's terrible when he doesn't have the ball. And I think El Nenny is just he's the closer. He's the guy that you're going to bring in and secure the game up. You're not going to bring Jorginho on. If we're up 1-0 and Partey goes down hurt, you're telling me you'd rather bring Jorginho on than El Nenny? You're fucking nuts. I'm sorry. I want El Nenny. But that's not even an argument anymore because El Nenny's hurt. He's out. So we can't turn to him. So, yeah, I mean, I'm all about the Jorginho signing. I think I'm kind of sounding like a hypocrite here, but I think it's just because I'm just such a big El Nenny guy. But I think it's a good sign for these 6 months. But I would have rather of us to had another option. Yeah, I wish El Nenny was healthy, but he's not. So we had to kind of do what we had to do to make ends meet.
I think Jorginho is closer to Partey than El Nenny is.
Oh yeah, 100. I think he's probably the closest midfielder that we were linked with. That's on the market to Partey. He's way closer to Partey than
Caicedo.
Yeah. Holy fuck. Yeah.
But I agree with that too. I don't with El and El Nenny again. He's like we like to call him around these parts, the closer.
Now we call him Brian. I wish he made his name Ryan. I know it's probably too Irish, and the English would have been very upset. But if he made his name Ryan, I would have just been my love for him is just complete. Like I can't. There's nothing else like it. It would have been the greatest day of my life.
BG, please start talking before he goes into the heritage of every Arsenal player.
No, I'm done.
No,
Well, I do. No. I do want to explain what we're talking about because a lot of people don't know what we're talking about. So El Nenny's going for his coaching badges, and he had to like apply for citizenship to get those coaching badges, or just I think he's just applying for citizenship, period. And so he was in the locker room. The guys were joking around, like, "Oh, you should probably get like a more English name," and it landed on Brian. So now everybody in the dressing room calls him Brian. So yeah, that's what
I don't even remember. When you said don't that he's going to go off onto every Arsenal player's heritage. I was going to say who's he going to be? Pierre Maguire. For those of you that please, Ryan, tell me you know what I'm talking about.
The bald fuck. He doesn't know what he's talking about in NHL.
Oh my God. Yeah, but you know what he does know? Hockey. He was an assistant coach on the Penguins when they won the two Stanley Cups in the 90s.
All right.
You guys cannot resist talking American.
I didn't say nothing. He did.
I can't. It's always me. It is always me.
And Canada, I'm sorry, it's not an American sport, it's a Canadian sport.
I mean, I can't argue with you there either. So, we're at about an hour and a half here, fellas. We're a little over, so we're going to wrap it up. Let's wrap it up. The Jorginho talk was fantastic. I enjoyed that. That was great.
My final thought is I think he's, and you'll be happy to be proven wrong, Ryan. I think Jorginho's not Partey, but he passes like Partey, and I think he's going to show you that when he gets a chance.
How's it prove me wrong? I said that. I agree with you.
Oh, I'm sorry, son.
Yeah. Dad, you're hearing. Hello,
what?
Dad, wake up, Dad.
It's 4:42 Eastern time. I usually eat dinner an hour ago.
Hello, Cool James stuffed it into the chat.
He's got to be in bed in a couple hours. Yes, James. Yes, final Nenny.
That's if he even remembers where his bed is. He said something earlier about not knowing someone's name. I was going to say, Cullen, you're too stoned to know your own name.
Hey, what?
Hey. Anyway.
No, yeah, I'm just going to close the Jorginho talk out with
go for it.
For the money, it's a good signing. I don't like him as a player, but I think he's going to raise the floor, and he's going to make us better in the fact that like if Partey gets hurt or if Partey has to come off, like it's like okay, Jorginho, good, that's fine. I don't want Vieira to do that. I don't want
right.
I mean, I guess Lukonga wouldn't have went out on a loan if we didn't sign him. So, like, we would have had Lukonga there, which I don't want. So, I understand it, but I just don't like him as a player. He's an asshole, and I don't want that asshole on my lawn.
Real quick, to that point, we need a little bit of that. We need a little bit of that.
We have Xhaka. We have Eddie.
Nah, it's different. Xhaka's not an agitator. Xhaka's the second man in. You know what I mean? Xhaka's the dude that says, Xhaka's the dude at the bar that says, when you're arguing with some dude and Xhaka's your buddy, Xhaka walks up to that dude's buddy and goes, don't start nothing, won't be nothing. That's Granite Xhaka.
Okay, all right. I need to interject here before you guys go at it again. I don't want Xhaka being any more aggressive. He's in this perfect spot right now where he's not getting a red card every 3 games. So, whatever he's doing, he appears to be a tough badass to me on the pitch. Just keep doing that, Xhaka. Don't get more aggressive. Don't break it don't fix it if it ain't broke. Whatever the fuck that saying is.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. So I completely agree. I could not agree more with what James just tweeted. The only thing I will add as a little bit of a caveat, your dad walks out.
I'm sorry, I just read it.
Headband strumming on a tennis racket, but I do think Jimi Hendrix is playing in the background. So I think Jorginho, he radiates Jimi Hendrix, but it's like, but he's like but your dad's lip syncing, where it's like, that's Jimmy, but that's not Jimmy live. I want to see Jimi Hendrix live. And shout out, I fucking love Jimi Hendrix. Shout out to my dad. He got me in Jimmy. I fucking love Jimi Hendrix. But yeah, I agree with everything that you said, James. But I think Jorginho will pass.
I gotta follow
for the next 6 months.
I can't find my pen, but I gotta follow James because it's
like just the best had it.
I know. No, that's my vape pen. What was I gonna say? James, that was fucking fantastic. I'm gonna follow you on Twitter just for that one comment. That's
I can send you his Twitter, or James could comment.
James, just drop your.
I have to follow him. That was.
I gotta be honest. I'm a little upset with James right now because me and him haven't podcasted yet together because he's brilliant.
That was insanely
you need to check out his stuff. He's a good dude, good podcaster. Yeah, check my stuff, and I'll be on it soon. So, James.
Wait, he makes hideous videos like this?
No, what? No.
Yeah, so kind of.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so let's wrap it up. Glenn, anything? Final word? Anything you want to add?
So there's a difference between podcaster and vlogger?
What?
I couldn't tell you. Don't know.
You know what? James does a podcast. That's where you talk, but you don't see the people.
I guess. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't.
All right, you know what? Get off my fucking lawn. So
there you go. LL Cool James. Don't you love it? Don't you love it, Glenn?
Seriously, I'm in a good place with Arsenal right now, and you know, and I'm glad that you guys are too. And
no, I'm kidding. I'm sorry. It's a reaction.
I really don't have it. I really don't have anything else. And this was a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me, Tanner. I hate that name. It didn't work. Thank you for inviting me, BG. English. I tried.
Couldn't get more American right there than you did, Glenn. Good job.
Who the fuck is Tanner?
All right, I'm gonna have a little bit of a hot take here, and this is gonna be my final thought, which crazy, right? Can't debate about my hot take. If you had told me whatever happened in our game against Everton was going to happen in the City game, I would have said I want to lose to Everton, because obviously nothing happened. So we're still a game up. We're 5 points clear, and both of us played a game. So it's one game closer to winning the trophy. A, B, we were bound to lose a game. We were bound to, slip up. I'm glad we slipped up against a team like an Everton, because I do think that we can definitely learn from this. I think that's the biggest thing. I think we're going to learn from this Everton game, and I think that's the most important part. And I think, to me, that's the most important part of this team as a whole. Even Arteta, he's only been manager for he's a fucking infant as far in manager years, and this team is still in its very, very, very infancy. So I think learning as much as we can is huge for the team, huge for Arteta. And, he kind of said it in his post-game interview. He goes, I love the team now more than I did 3 hours ago. I love the team now more than I did 3 weeks ago, then 4 months ago, then whatever. And they're going to learn. And I think he should have. I mean, I don't know if I'm not saying he should have said this, but he's also learning, So I don't want to say I never root for us to lose. I'm not saying I'm happy we lost. I know I said that earlier. I'm not happy we lost, but I was obviously upset at the whistle, but then when you when you have to digest the game and process it all, in a way, it's in a learning experience. I think we're going to be better for it, and I think in the long run, it's going to be better for us in the long run that we lost this game.
You know what? Glenn, go ahead real quick.
It was going to be real quick. Look, everybody has an opinion, and I saw after we didn't get Mudryk and we wound up with Jorginho, someone actually wrote Edu out, and I'm like, really?
There's a lot of people that were like that.
So you can't herd the internet you can't herd cats. That would be like herding the internet. All I can say is the majority of people on my timeline are cool and steady, and I think that's the way Arsenal fans should be. We're in first place. We're before the Everton game, we were ahead of the Invincibles in points. I think so. That's all I got to say. I'm sorry. I tend to babble.
I agree with Ryan. It's a hot take, but I agree. And I'll tell you this, it's crazy. But just on that note, with my team, my American teams, be it hockey, be it baseball, even like that, you're gonna lose. You're not gonna go 82 games or 162 games and win them all. That just ain't gonna happen. But American football, you play 16 games. I lived through a perfect season minus one game. And
most important game.
What's that?
I said the most important game.
The most important game. If they would have lost, and it's funny, because if they would have lost, they had nothing to play for. I'm talking about the New England Patriots, had nothing to play for in the last game of that season against the New York Giants on Sunday Night Football. It was the last game of the season, nothing to play for. And they beat them. If they lose that game, and I'm not saying go out and try to lose. No team does that. But if they lose, they needed to lose one game, because you learn more about yourself as a team, as a player, when the chips are down, when you lose. To Ryan's point, we were going to lose another game. Let's do it now. That way we can learn from it. We grow from this. So hot take.
Like, obviously you don't want Tottenham beating Man City, but if you're telling me in a weekend that we lose, Man City are also going to lose, I'm like, okay, like, cool. This Everton team, fine. We have a terrible record at Goodison. You know, we still haven't quite figured out this like bully style football that teams, you know, the Newcastle played against us, Everton played against us. And we're still kind of trying to, I don't want to say we're trying to bet in players, but we still have players that are still trying to assimilate with the squad. You know, you have Trossard, we have Jorginho's first game for us. It's going to take time. So,
yeah.
All I'm going to say right now is Brentford better watch the fuck out. That's all I got to say.
Let's hope. My final word is, and I don't think anybody watching this, first of all, thank you everybody that tuned in.
Yes,
live.
thank you.
Thank you everybody for commenting. Dublin Gooner, LL Cool James, BX Gunner was in there, Daniel Shaw, Matt D'Souza, Bulgarian Gooner, Raid. Thank you guys all for being a part of it. If you haven't already, please drop a like, subscribe to the show, drop a dislike if you hate our guts, or if you just think you're being funny, whatever. I don't care. Have at you. But anyway, thank you all for watching. Everybody, if you made it this far, you're watching on replay, thank you all very much as well. Please be sure to interact with the show, leave a comment, subscribe, and enjoy the ride, folks. Enjoy the ride.
Yep.
I know that negativity sells, the no news is good news, you know, mantra, but enjoy the ride. We're going to have bumps in the road. We're going to lose another game. I'm telling you, we're going to lose. I'm telling you right now, we're going to lose another game. That's not me being a doom. I'm not doom and gloom. I'm not hellfire and brimstone. It's just the nature of sport. It's the way that it goes. We're going to lose another game.
Isn't the season only basically halfway over right now?
We're one game beyond the halfway point. Yeah, we have 18 games to play. We're going to lose another one. We're going to lose another one, and we're probably going to lose one that when we look back,
bite your tongue.
How did we lose that game? So enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ups and the downs. If you have no down, how do you enjoy the up? Right? So enjoy the ride, ladies and gentlemen. It's a fun time to be an Arsenal fan. Thank you to Glenn. Thank you to Ryan, as always. Maybe one of these days I'll get to meet up with the king of the potheads himself, like Ryan did.
Whoa. Is that me?
I didn't tell him that, Glenn. I didn't say anything. I promise.
It pretty much said it in the video at glenn@afcnewyork.com.
Yeah.
Where I asked Ryan if I smell like McDonald's. He said, no, you smell like weed. So,
as far as Glenn's handle goes, just put the @ in front of his name that's on the screen right now. That's his Twitter handle. Ryan has his. You guys know who I am. There's no fancy exit videos or anything else. We're just going to say goodbye and we're going to get out of here. So say good night, Glenn.
Good night, Glenn. Sorry.